Andy Wild, we're just not long away now from your Y Division Championship opportunity. After a 2018, you won the Disco Derby to get back on the roster. You won the Hotter Than Hell tournament, which has made this championship match possible. I mean, how can you sum up 2018 for Andy Wild?
2018 for me was unbelievable. To say it was a dream wouldn't be the right wording, due to everything I did was planned. You know, everything. When I went into that Discovery Derby, I knew what I wanted to achieve. Every single match thereafter, I knew what I wanted to achieve. We had that small halt in the middle with Zach Gibson, but that was my only loss in 2018 Discovery. Ending the year winning the Hotter Than Hell tournament was not a fluke. That was calculated. I went in there knowing that I was going to achieve what I was going to achieve, and that was to be the number one contender. So 2018 has just been unbelievable.
You've cashed in immediately. You could have used your Hotter Than Hell tournament when at any point you wanted it. Now you're not willing to wait any longer.
No, you can't wait. Look at the current climate. You just can't wait in wrestling. If you give wrestling time, things blow past. I have worked for 4 years. Maybe not everybody can see it. Maybe they just see 2018. But I've been working for 4 years to get myself back in the eyes of British wrestling. Now I've got this title opportunity. I'm not wasting any time. First chance I got, I was on the phone to yourself, Alan, and I wanted Joe Coffey. That's all I want.
Because there was that kind of maybe a moment backstage between yourself and Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, yeah, you know, was promised a shot, but you're quite happy to push him to the side just now because you want your chance.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, Joe deserves his title shot, but he deserves his title shot against me. My whole year has been based towards this championship. Joe's been based towards winning matches. So when Joe Hendry got that opportunity on the last show of the year to get a number one contendership, there's a queue, you know. And once I beat Joe, which I'm confident that I'm going to do, Joe Hendry can have his title opportunity. That's no problem at all.
What do you make of the response of the fans? Because once you announced that you're going for this is the title opportunity, there seems to be a momentum behind Andy Wild. There's a lot of kind of wild boys out there.
Yeah. I mean, from show to show, it just gets more and more. It started off as a small group of people that followed me and have always kind of had my back and always been there for me in shows. I think over the year, as fans have seen that I'm all about wrestling. They're all about wrestling. I'm all about wrestling. Every time I step in the ring, I'm not fighting by myself. It's me and them against the guy that I'm wrestling. So it's a very good position for me to be in. You know.
Let's look at the champion, Joe Coffey, the Iron Man. He's had this championship now for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Title defences include Matt Cross, Zack Sabre Jr., Aaron Echo, BT Gunn, Aspen Faith, Christopher Saint. Where do you think you rank in terms of challengers compared to them? What you're bringing to this that perhaps Joe hasn't faced before?
Joe hasn't faced Andy Wild in a Discovery ring, and that's a big deal. I'm 20 stone. I'm 6 foot. I have years and years and years and years of experience. All these guys are great. You talk of Zack Sabre Jr. I was standing next to Zack Sabre Jr. 12 years ago wrestling. You know, so it's not a fluke for me to be in this position. All these guys have their own things, all their different things and positives and strengths. But Joe hasn't stood against somebody as strong as Joe Coffey yet. Joe hasn't stood against somebody as powerful as Joe Coffey yet. Somebody hasn't stood against somebody as relentless and dangerous as himself yet. And that's what's going to happen when he stands with me.
We spoke with Joe Coffey earlier, and he talked about you and the differences between you two.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you're settled, you've got your family, you've settled, whereas he has perhaps made that sacrifice and he's gone chasing titles, chasing achievements, whereas you've settled.
Settled would be a word that we could probably flip round on Joe. Joe's settled in his success. Joe's settled at being at the top of the mountain, whereas myself, I'm not settled. I have a family. I have a job. I have 60 hours a week I have to work. Joe Coffey wakes up in the morning and goes to the gym. Andy Wild wakes up in the morning, does 10 hours at work, then goes to the gym. I have a lot to prove in this match. If I can beat Joe Coffey when he's at the top of the mountain and all the eyes of the world are on him, whose eyes do they go on to then? Me.
This championship match comes pretty much exactly a year since you won the Disco Derby. Yeah. Many people have kind of likened it to a bit of a fairy tale. As you say, this is planned for you.
Yeah.
What would winning the Y Division Championship mean to Andy Wild?
It would mean the world to me. It would mean the world to me on the grounds that when I took time out from wrestling to start a family, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to sit on the sofa and watch these people achieve. As much as they deserve to achieve, it was very, very hard for me to sit and watch that. Now that I had the opportunity to go into the Disco Derby and slowly crawl my way back up through the ranks, winning that title would be the culmination of all that hard work. And I need that at this stage. I need to know that that hard work is paying off, so I can make that next step towards having what Joe Coffey has.
In his final message to you before the championship fight, Joe looked back at your year, said he's going to be a nightmare. This is a completely different Joe Coffey that anybody's going to see. He referenced your loss to Zach Gibson, and he's basically warned you, keep your family away from this one.
I think he'd be right in what he said. To say that I'm not worried to wrestle with somebody of the caliber of Joe Coffey would be a stupid, silly statement. I was on a high in Discovery, beating all those people, and to step in the ring with Zach Gibson to be outclassed and out-wrestled was a really, really, really big pill for me to swallow. But it's a lesson learnt. I'm a dad. I'm an adult. I don't mess around. I take lessons in life and I turn them into things that I can use. I'm going to use that lesson that I learned to beat Joe Coffey. And to think that I'm going to bring my family with me would be stupid. And not for my sake, but for his sake. I do not want my son and my wife seeing what the real Andy Wilde can actually do to somebody.
What's your final message then to Joe Coffey ahead of this?
My message to you, Joe, would be, with all the respect in the world, mate, I am going to go into that ring. I'm going to take these hands and I'm going to clasp them round your waist. And when I pick you up and dump you down your neck with a Wild Night Out, I'm going to be walking out as a Y Division champion.